Okay, thanks, Randy. Those are like some awesome tips. And so we're gonna move into the last section of our workshop. I can't believe how fast time's flying. Time flies when you're having fun. So, I mean, there's some sections where I would have loved for us to just go on and on and on, but we can't. So the last section, can you please like talk about the ins and outs of the music industry? Basically the experience for a signed artist and how that compares to an independent artist, and the best way to go about the creative aspect of creating your EP, your album, and the record label signing process in general.
Okay. A lot of records that are made under contract for a record label never see the light of day. A lot of them. And there's a lot of reasons for that. It's not easy being a recording artist, and I don't think people going into it realize how hard it is and the demands that are going to be put on you, because they can be really, really nerve-wracking. You got a lot of people pulling at you and giving you differing advice sometimes, and you're having to make compromises between the producer's vision, your vision, the label's vision, the management's vision. And the one thing I've seen with young artists that are signed that get into trouble, they can't handle the stress of it on some level, or they're too stubborn with the other people that actually had the money invested in them. And they can really sour on you in that way. I mean, the first major label artist I worked with was a kid named JoJo Robinson. You've never heard of him. He was signed to the second largest new artist contract ever given by Sony Columbia. And Tommy McCullough personally signed it. And he started working on the album. His management was kind of shady. They were making something that was kind of very adult contemporary. They were having singing songs that sounded great on the album, but when he got out and showcased them for label and radio stuff, he couldn't really sing them all that well. They were ridiculous, so then they sent them to me. But there was ineptitude in the management and the way they dealt with things, and JoJo increasingly becoming more and more difficult to work with. And some of it was out of his control, so the album got shelved. And almost any time I've seen something like this happen, it comes down to usually the artist not being able to handle the situation and maybe overestimating the amount of power they have in the equation early on. Because they'll move on to someone else real quickly. So you're gonna have to, the sooner you can accept that before you get into it and know what I say is true, and it is, the better it will be for you, and you'll avoid that mistake. Indie artists, I applaud, because they don't have to let go of their creative control of their album and their music. But on the other hand, I don't think they always realize how much work is going to go into getting people to listen to it. You can put something great out there, it's not going to matter if they don't know about it. So if you're going to be an indie artist, you've got to be a competent business person on top of it, because you're going to be your manager and your own publicist and all that in the beginning, you know? So people, those artists like that, a lot of them are capable of producing great work, but they're not capable of knowing how to sell it. Is that everything, or is this another question?
And just the process in general about getting signed to a record label, how does that usually happen and work out? And also you mentioned challenges, right? if you can just elaborate on that a little bit more, as far as the challenges that they're unaware of before, signing to a record label.
ALITI Production and Talent Agency.